Good morning, everyone. I'll be moderating this session. I'll also give the first set of remarks. My name is Khalid Mosalam. I am the director of the Pacific Earthquake Engineering Research Center, and I would like to welcome you all, and also for those who are joining us online. So, just for those who may not be familiar with PEER, so I prepared this one slide just to give you a little bit of background on what we do in the Pacific Earthquake Engineering Research Center, which is a university, government, and industry alliance. We have 11 core institutes that you see them listed here, and 9 educational affiliates. Berkeley is the headquarters of the center, and we are happy to have you all here. The center is viewed by the state of California as the primary research arm of earthquake engineering. You can learn a lot more about the center from our website, PEER.berkeley.edu. Our mission in the center is to develop methods towards resilient design for extreme events based on what we have done for many years, which is integrated performance-based engineering. PEER combines resources, faculty, students, postdocs, and including labs of these core institutions and educational affiliates, which are predominantly on the west coast of the United States, where earthquake hazard is the largest. Millions of researchers worldwide are using our PEER products, which include software, data sets like what we will be talking about in this workshop. Also, our PEER report series is used by a lot of people, and also occasionally we have people who want to use our lab, and we welcome that. We thank all our sponsors that you see at the bottom of this slide. We also value very much our industry partners, our business and industry partners that you see their logos on the right here. This is very important, especially for this workshop, because really the added value of PEER is to take this data set that you will hear about and bring it to the engineering community. And that link to our business and industry partnership program is very important in that regard. So switching now to the ground motion data sets, you're all familiar with our PEER recorded ground motion data sets, which was developed in many years now. And as you know, in the performance-based engineering, we estimate system performance accounting for different sources and types of uncertainties, including defining the hazard and selecting the ground motion. Several years ago, we realized that access to ground motions was hampered by the difficulty of collecting and manipulating big data. So in late 90s, early 2000, PEER improved the access to strong ground motion by developing a web-based searchable database, which became known as NGA, and several people worldwide in academia or in the profession are using this data set. So how did this materialize? Well, a lot of effort was put into collecting the ground motion records worldwide. The data was processed in a consistent and reliable manner, and metadata was included, such as the source, the site, magnitude, type of fault, local site conditions, and that led to what you see some screenshots here of the documentation page that's in our PEER website, the different data sets that one can access through this link. However, more recently we realized that there are some limitations of the recorded ground motion, which mainly is the scarcity of the recorded near-fault ground motions from large magnitude earthquakes, which you see in this yellow box here. You have fewer data points compared to the dense data when you have small magnitude or when you have a larger distance. And this insufficient recorded ground motions of large magnitude kind of put an obstacle when you want to look at collapse prevention, or you want to estimate the response under high level of excitation. Also, not having a large data set that take into account the spatial variation reduces our capability of doing regional scale simulations, which we already have tools for. So with these limitations, and knowing that nowadays machines are becoming more powerful, human-machine collaboration became the common practice compared to what was done in the 50s and 60s, where the engineers who were embarking on developing earthquake engineering fundamentals. Now we go into things like ductile response, collapse prevention, saving lives, where computers become essential. And in the near future, probably is already happening now, the use of high performance computing, doing regional scale modeling is happening and will continue to happen. So that motivated us to develop SGMD, which is the Simulated Ground Motion Database. This is collaborative work started at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab and also Lawrence Livermore. It's supported by US Department of Energy, and PEER came along to help out in developing a large regional scale open access SGMD. PEER adds the value, as I mentioned, that we have the experience with NGA, we have the link to the industry and the profession and several research groups. So we were brought in for this purpose, and we are happy to be part of this effort. So this annual workshop, this is the second one, if we don't consider the very first one, which was only done online. Mainly focus on sharing the development of PEER-LBNL, SGMD, and more importantly is to get your feedback. What is your wish list? What do you want us? This is a work in progress. What do you want from our interface or our data set? What are we missing? That feedback is really important for us, and we take it very seriously. So the workshop is organized around several talks, thanks to all the speakers. We have 16 speakers. We will have 10 posters. You see them put outside. There is more than 200 participants. About 1/3 of them will be here in person, and 2/3 are online. And we would like, as I mentioned, your in-person feedback and also your online feedback. The program is developed such that it covers a diverse set of topics, from earthquake simulation to earthquake early warning, and of course the SGMD, that's the centerpiece of this workshop, ground motion selection, engineering applications. There is a variety of those, and that's very important, related to energy, utilities, transportation, infrastructure, regional simulation, performance-based earthquake engineering, and risk. The break times are put in the program such that attendees can talk to each other and talk to us and give us your feedback. There will be 1 hour at the end of the program that's dedicated for attendees' input and discussion. So the objectives of the workshop is, as I mentioned, is to introduce the PEER-LBNL SGMD to the community. that include the development, the capabilities, and the future directions. We would like to inform the earthquake engineering researchers and practitioners about the different applications of SGMD that one can think of, but that's our thinking. There could be a lot more applications that you can come up with, and we would like to hear from you. We are trying to establish synergy between the engineering science, engineering and risk communities through this data set. We would like to engage the community in SGMD development and, as I mentioned, collect feedback for future development. There will be a poll, a workshop poll that the questions have been communicated to the attendees before the workshop. Questions will appear in the webinar during the breaks. The online and in-person attendees can submit their response online. You can go and just upload your response. If in person and you don't want to use your cell phone or iPad, there will be also a hard copy of the polls, and we would like to collect those during the lunch break so we can tally the votes and have that to steer the discussion of the final hour of this workshop. The poll is only 2 questions, and we would like you to pick 3 choices for each question. They have multiple choice. The first question has 7 choices. The second question has 5 choices. If you can rank 1, 2, and 3 of top priority, middle priority, and lowest priority from your perspective of these choices. The first one has to do with the SGMD dataset enhancement options, which asks you about what future enhancements we should include in the data set from your research perspective or your professional perspective. The second one has to do with the interface, especially if you are familiar, if you are one of our beta users and you have seen the interface. If you haven't, the choices are in front of you and you just pick what is your top 3 out of this list of 5 that you would like to see in our interface. With that, I will end, but I also want to remind you that tomorrow and the day after, we have our PEER annual meeting, which we will be talking about a variety of things beyond the SGMD that we have been doing in the PEER Center. We welcome you to stay. It will be in the same room. More people. We don't have an online option for that one. We would like to see you in person. And if you are here, please stick around, and we will be happy to share with you more information about what goes on in the PEER Center. Thank you very much.